Hi everyone, back up at the property, my 5-acre parcel of land, soon to be my bonsai oasis. As always, first thing I do is check on the trees. It is the unofficial start of summer, that's right, Memorial Weekend. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Well Pump Part 2. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited. Now honestly, one of the first things I did on this trip before I checked on the trees was to see if my solar panels were still in place. I have to admit I was a little bit nervous that I'd come back and some of these would be heisted. The solar panel's in place, so we gotta see if we can get that solar pump running this weekend. But it's gonna be a very busy weekend. And first and foremost, I have to set up my little sleeping hammock because sunset is about a half an hour away. Now today in the metropolitan area, it was mid-60s. Tonight there's frost warnings in the northeast part of Minnesota, which means we're gonna get down into the mid-30s. It's 57 right now, mid-30s y'all. We're gonna see if this is gonna work. Now as I start to set up my little hammock oasis here, let's flash back a few moments ago. Yeah, the roads were horrible today. It took me 2 hours and 45 minutes to get up to a place that usually takes me an hour and 40. It's Memorial Weekend, Friday. Everybody's trying to get up north for the first unofficial weekend of the summer. We keep getting periods of bumper to bumper. So this will be a good time for me to stop. Hinckley exits in 2 miles. Nothing like coming almost to a complete stop on an interstate. So those folks either know a better, quicker way, or they're getting off for some food as well. Now, summer's just around the corner for me. 2 more weeks of school left, and so I'll be able to come up on a Monday or a Wednesday. Stop and go. Taking a look on the bright side, as we go 4 miles an hour, I'm in EV mode, which means I'm being super economic and better for the environment. That certainly is a perk, but I sure would like to get up there quicker. Now the double whammy on Memorial Weekend, Friday evening, getting up to the property problem here is that right at Hinckley, where I'm gonna get off and grab a bite to eat, it goes down to 1 lane both ways because they're fixing a bridge through September. I'm up to 20 miles an hour though, so I'm ready to exit real quick. All right, a lot of lines at the dinner places too. I think we're gonna make it quick and easy. We're doing Subway tonight. All right, that was quick. I got that sandwich in about 1/10 of the time it took me to go 2 miles, maybe even less. So, just enough to stretch the legs, get some dinner because I didn't pack dinner. Let's get back on the road because we're losing light. All right, let's go. So I'm coming into the property and I got a white-tailed deer, just took off. Now the last time I tried to sleep up here at the property was in a tent with Toby. And it got down to the low 40s. And I had an air mattress that fizzled out. I was touching the ground and it was really, really cold. I ended up in the car, right, yeah. So this time it's supposed to be in the mid-30s. That's colder, but I'm gonna be up off the ground and I've got many, many layers. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put some blankets in here and we're gonna set this thing up for hopefully a super comfortable evening. My history with sleeping bags isn't great. I'm not a huge sleeping bag kind of guy. I get kind of claustrophobic in sleeping bags. But we'll go ahead and just give this a try because I know it's gonna be cold and I'm gonna wanna cuddle on in and have, a nice, comfortable, warm situation. We'll get this closed for the bugs. Yeah, so it's getting dark kind of fast. Sunset's at 8:45. We pulled up here at about 8:15. Yeah, and then busy weekend ahead of us. So I'll probably just climb in and curl up and stay warm if I can. All right, it's all set up. We got the four corners kind of down. But when I get in here and rock this thing, I think those corner stakes are just gonna come right out of the ground. But oh well, we got the cover on. It's attached up there. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. We'll get warm and cozy there in just a little bit. So I'm gonna go see if I can take a few things out of the car and the trailer we brought up this time before we go nighty-night. So as always, did a little packing coming up here. All the sleeping stuff and extra blankets was a must. Got the camera gear, got some food, but the big thing is this time around, we have another trailer. So I acquired a couple of metal containers or metal storage units that sit up, kind of a shelving system. Oh, I think I forgot the key, but I'm not gonna put stuff in there anyway. So I got these two in here. I got another pallet we're gonna take out of here, and we've got some extra wood and the gas for the mower, and also some pumice for my friend Steve. So we gotta unload this. I don't know if I'll get this unloaded here tonight before the light goes completely, but let's get a couple of things taken care of. So the car is all emptied out, and I've got the foam down here, so if I get really cold, I'm gonna be comfy tonight. I'll be able to jump in the car, turn it on if I need to, warm up with all those blankets and layers inside the car, and I should be fine. But let's hope we can make the whole night in the sleeping hammock. The solar lights that I put on top of the fence, most of them are still working. So first time I've been up here at night where it goes off and glows. Fantastic. I'll get some bigger lights to kind of loop over those poles later, but those were good starting lights. All right, I'm making my ascent up the hill where the fire pit is and the sleeping tent hammock. So I'll shut off the camera so I can get all situated. There you go, everybody. My left foot is in the sleeping bag. My right foot is out because I'm so hot from trying to get into this contraption. Okay, it's cooling off fast. So even though I'm warm getting in here, I got all these layers of blankets. It feels pretty sturdy. I got the netting closed all the way to the top, so no bugs, hopefully. The tarp's over the top. That'll keep a little heat in here. But the sides have the little gaps there where I'm going to feel some cold air coming in. So hopefully I can slumber away and get some sleep. All right, for the first leg of this marathon Memorial Weekend trip, it's time to say goodnight. I'm going to catch up with my buddy Toby. Yeah, my son Toby is doing a 5K a day in May challenge on his YouTube channel. Go check out Toby. I'm going to go watch day number 23 right now, and then hopefully fall asleep. So good night, everybody. And yeah, we'll see you in the morning.
What's up, guys? Welcome to day 23. That was a little too aggressive. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, and this run should be a good one. Also, I got to point out, summer's here. All right, 1 mile. Feeling good.
Well, good morning. Birds are chirping, and it's 5:30. I imagine we're at about 35 degrees. I made it through the night. A little chilly, got the hood up, keep the heat from going off the head. Now to get out of this contraption. All right. Woo! Yeah, that was a crisp night's sleep for sure. But we did it. Now, 12:30 in the morning, woke up to some rain. I was not expecting that. It's a good thing I had the shield over the top. It's beautiful. I heard an owl last night as I was going to bed. Yeah, some are off over there. Back over there, there was a big owl hooting. Well, it sounded big. What's on the agenda? It's Saturday morning, and it's going to be a beautiful day, and we have to get the solar pump going.
I've got a bit of a surprise today, so we're going to do that first. But there's the panels. The sun's going to be coming up over there. So I have to be back here, in about 3-4 hours and maybe try to get this thing going. But first, we have to unload the rest of the trailer, and then I have to go head to my friend Steve's house. More on that in a bit. As the sun starts to rise over the eastern sky, I started the morning unloading the 2 big metal cabinets. Got them off of the trailer and shoved into the garage, the shed. Yeah, that shed door opens pretty rough, but we got it open. Yeah. So one of my biggest fears about this shed is it's going to be a big old sloppy mess. Now it's huge, so it'll take a while. But now I've got stuff kind of everywhere. But before I can organize, I have to build a couple more shelves. There's shelves in the back section there, so I'll be able to put a lot of stuff back there. So I'll do that on this trip, hopefully a little bit. A little bit every time I'm up here is going to go a long way. But then eventually I'll build a cold frame in here for the trees in the wintertime, and this will be where Bonsai Acres stores people's trees, nice and protected, inside a shed, inside a cold frame. But we have a lot to do in here with the floor of this place because there's still that, the ground is sunken down like, and you can see the outside. We gotta fill this in with some driveway, it's so cold I can't even speak this morning, driveway gravel. I gotta bring in a couple of, maybe 10 yards of product to kind of flatten this out. But that's not today's agenda. But I got the metal cabinets here. We'll find a place for those and kind of tuck them to the side as we organize. And then we're gonna head on to my friend's house. So because it's so early in the morning, because it was crisp and cold and I woke up, I can actually start organizing right now. So why procrastinate? Why procrastinate when I can get a good jump on it right now? Got a couple things moved in the shed, and I'm at a good stopping point, but I'm still over an hour away until I can go to my friend Steve's house because I woke up so early this morning. I got some time to kill, but that's perfect for the next project. One of the things I can work on as I wait to go to my friend Steve's house is I have to prop this up for summer solar. And so when this raises up to about here, I need to have it stay here. So I could just put a couple of 2x4 posts to the ground, but that might be a little wobbly. Perhaps on the A-frame, can I put something like this? And when I'm not using it, I can close it up into here. And then when this is down, it'll be tucked behind here. That would be a loose connection, so I'd still have to find some kind of latch system to kind of hold it in place for windy days and those kind of things. And then the other thing I have to do is figure out where I'm going to put the control box. Now, it's probably going to be on the back side over here. It is created to be, made for the weather, so we can leave it out. But I might make just a little bit of a shelter for it so it's not just completely exposed. I have 20 feet of solar cable. It's 25 feet to there, but I can just connect everything here without the extension. I should be able to connect it here. So here's the RPS control system, and that's going to be mounted probably right there. And then here are the solar connectors right here, and the solar panels reach right to this extension cord. I have plenty of space. And then the power comes in here, and then the sensor for the well goes in here, and that'll just go to the well pump, and I have plenty of feet extra of that wire to make that work. So let's see how I'm going to connect this to the wood here. I don't see any holes that go through to make this an easy mount. There are holes in there, but I'm not seeing how that would connect. These are threaded. So in the mounting kit somewhere, that mounting kit has screws that go in here, I'm guessing, and you screw them in, and then that mounting screw sticks up a little bit. I gotta make sure I have those parts. If I don't, I'm just gonna have to create. Work in progress. We gotta figure that out. I've been to my friend's house and I'm on my way back up. Now I had to almost go all the way home to get to his house to pick up this thing. And now I'm back on the road. Now it's Saturday, about 11:30 in the morning, and the Memorial Weekend rush is not really much slower. Some slowdowns along the way, but now we're at that construction zone again, and you guessed it, it's bumper to bumper. Well, the tally was about 13 minutes to go about 2 miles, and we merged into one lane because it's going to be one-way traffic going both ways on 35. The interesting thing is, once we get down to one lane, why did it take us a quarter to a half a mile to get up to 27 miles an hour? Now, if you haven't heard, when you live in Minnesota, we do have 2 seasons, and that's winter and road construction. I'm on County 23, and we've got blue skies, ready to put that pump in the ground, see if it's gonna work. I think I'm probably an hour from having water come out of the well, an hour. Maybe I should put a stopwatch on that too. Nothing is gonna stop me now. All right, there it is. Here it is. I went to go see my buddy Steve, and he was selling his 4-wheeler, hasn't used it for 20 plus years. This is an archaic beast. It's the Big Bear 4x4. And I got a nice rack up front, got a nice rack in the back. There's a ball hitch in the back, and there's a winch up front. This will be a utility tool here at Bonsai Acres. And as fun as this is, and as much as I want to ride it, we got to see if this solar pump is going to go. So I got to keep this thing on rest right now, and let's get to the solar pump and let's get some water going. Okay, part 1 of the setup is complete. Because I put this extender piece to make my filters fit, this should have gone right onto the filter, but I put an extender piece, which means I needed a coupler. So we're gonna attach the hose, the black hose, right onto here. Back a couple of episodes ago, I had no idea what this big thing was for. Well, this big thing attaches to the other side of the tube that comes up through the cap right here. It goes on the well. This is the well seal, and this is gonna come up right like that. That's gonna go in here, and then those are gonna connect here, and then we have to connect our wires and hopefully get some sun breaks here in the clouds, and we'll be good to go. Next up, I've laid the black hose out in the sun so it gets as warm as possible. When it's warmer, it's gonna stretch out to a nice straight hose. That's gonna help when I put it down into the well. So now I'm gonna measure out 60 feet, because we need this to be 60 feet. We'll cut the extra off. The well is 75 feet deep, and we're gonna go down to 60 feet. The static water is at 30 feet. All right, so I'm gonna double check that this is laying pretty straight on the ground. And here we lost a foot right here. And I can always cut off a couple extra feet, so I'm gonna go with 65 feet to start with. We have the pump ready to go. Everything's taped on. We have the safety rope, we have the power, and then we have the sensor taped up a foot higher. That's ready to go into the well. But before we put it in the well, they recommend that you try to, well, get a test sample before you stick it all the way down there so you can troubleshoot. So we're gonna put this in a bucket of water. I've got a couple buckets of water so we can replenish it as the water goes through the hose, and we're gonna see if it's gonna work. Now, there's been a lot of clouds this afternoon, so I'm waiting for a big sunny spot. So I'm gonna set this up so we can have a bucket of water, everything ready to go. I'm gonna hook up the cables, and then we should be able to give this a test run. Now, the cords that I have are too long, and I know they're too long, but I just wanna test it. Once we're done testing everything, we know it's gonna work, then we'll measure the cords out so I have enough to stretch out here to the solar panels. Now, per the instructions, and they warned us several times to label these cords. We can put 1 and 1, 2 and 2, and 3 and 3. And number 3, Solar, off, battery, solar. Okay, the water's below the pump. This is where the water's gonna come out. We can just replenish it right in there. Hope we have enough so we don't dry up this well. Power on. Oh, I hear something spinning. It's warming up. We may have water in a few seconds. Here comes water. I can hear it coming through the pipes. Here we go. The sun is making this happen. The sun is going into those solar panels and making this happen. And then if I lift this out of the water, it's cycling down, running down, and it's going to shut off. If I put it back in, it should go back on. And it goes back on. All right, fantastic. So the well is working from solar electricity. Solar power is making this thing go. Yeah! The experiment worked. Now I can put it down the hole and cut everything off where I need to measure it and cut it off. Before I can put it in there, I have to make sure the well cap has all the things through there. So before I can put the hose through there, I have to go ahead and put the electrical up here as well. We are going to shove those through here, right like this. And this is all the electrical. This is what comes through and holds it. So I need my 2 clamps and we're good to go. And here we go. Now this hasn't been in the sun for a while, so we're gonna have to go with brute strength. So I'm putting the final 2 clamps on the part that'll stick up through the hole of the well, and we'll be in good shape to put this thing down the well. Oh, there's one. Did someone say earlier in this video that it would maybe in about an hour we'd have water pumping? We are now minutes away from having a well that can water my trees down at the fenced in area. And I can fill up as many buckets as I want to. I can fill up some water holding tanks if I buy some. Get the IBC up here from home. Ouch, that hurt my hand. You see that, everybody? The clouds are out and I'm still getting water. Look at that flow. So it's hooked up. There's a big cloud over the sun and there's still enough solar to make this work. That's super impressive. We got some raindrops coming right now, so I might pick up a few tools and then we'll hook up the hose. Do that for a while. Waited 57 years to get me a 4-wheeler. Woohoo! It's coming up on 7:30 on this Saturday evening. Still hearing the birds. Just jumped on the old 4-wheeler. So my friend Steve had it for a long time. And now it's mine. And got my first spin on it here today after all the work. I cut the grass all up on the top up there, coming right down here, swooping around here. Just got my bonsai tree here for the weekend. This is my larch that I acquired from Candace, who acquired from Dave Severson. So proud to have that tree, one of my favorites in my collection. And I think I'm done. I've been debating whether I was going to stay in the hammock tent tonight, but it's supposed to be even colder tonight, if you can believe it, than last night. So I brought the car up closer to the A-frame. The A-frame? The tent frame. The hammock tent. And I'm going to put all my supplies in the back of the car. Yeah, you know, my body's sore today. A lot happened today. And I'm just going to crawl in the back of that car and I'm going to sleep like a baby. When I head up to my cabin on the river, the family, I very rarely go inside the cabin. I spend the entire day outside. At Bonsai Acres, I'm working frantically to start making this place, you know, inhabitable. Cleaning the land and staking out my claim to build something I probably will just sleep in. So keeping that in mind, I probably should just take my time because I spend the whole time outside. Now, of course, if inclement weather happens, I need some shelter. I have the shed though, if it's bad. And then the evening fire. Put a few logs in the fire and think about the day's work and what's coming up tomorrow. And just kicking back. And this is when I sit down and probably don't want to get back up. Stunning, stunning day. And we got the pump working. Can't wait to see tomorrow when the full sun gets on those solar panels. I think that's it for tonight. Jump in the car in a little while and we'll see everybody in the morning. Night now. I slept in till about 7:30 this morning in the car. The car was at a little bit of a steep angle, but I put the sleeping pad from the hammock tent in the car and the blankets. It was pretty comfortable. I slept okay. I got right to work on morning number 2 over at the second driveway. So I need to build the culvert. I need to make sure that water can flow from north to south where the second driveway used to be. I had some paver stone sand to kind of nestle in there to keep it nice and level. And I made sure that it was going to go downhill so the water would flow, of course, in the right direction. A lot of digging, a lot of shifting around some blocks, and we've got the main layer almost done. And so all I'm gonna have to do next is to kind of smooth things out. And then I have a couple of these big logs left over from when the original structure was here. I may lay those across perpendicular to the culvert and then fill that in with some more dirt. And then I'm gonna order some driveway gravel, and we're gonna compact that all down and drive over it with the new ATV a whole bunch of times, and then eventually the cars, and hopefully we'll have a sturdy enough section for this culvert. I took a drive into town, 10 o'clock, the Ace Hardware opened. I needed some bolts so I could put up the solar panels and make sure that we had a good setup for power this morning to test it out. I also, while I was there, decided to go ahead and buy another 100-foot hose because I really wanted to see how the flow was going to be 200 feet from the pump, and that would get us all the way to the trees. So we have about a 10:45 in the morning sun. It is straight up in the air, shining right down on the solar panels that are angled pretty high. That's not the final height. I haven't secured that yet, but I'm turning on the power because it's still connected to the pump. And because I'm 200 feet away, I have the camera on down by the hose that I just attached to the new hose. And let's see if the water is going to come gushing out. I made it down here in time to see if the water is going to come flowing. And I think do I hear it in the hose? I don't know if I do. This is 200 feet of hose. Oh, I can see the hose moving. So over there, the hose is moving. It's going to start coming any second now. I just heard some rumbling. And let's see how powerful it is 200 feet away. It's circling around like a corkscrew in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. -1. -2. -3. -4. little chuggy right now. But that's a lot of hose. Getting all that air out of there. There we go. We have some water. Time to go water the trees. So we've got 200 feet of hose, and we've got about a 10-foot stream of water. That's fantastic. So I'm gonna be able to get an attachment on here and put a little spray on here so I can water these a little bit better. This is so nice. We have success. I did water half of the bonsai acre here with some buckets earlier. Got to let this hose sit in the sun and uncoil. I bought a really good super duper heavy hose again, so now I have two, because nothing I hate worse at home than when I'm watering my trees and I get kinks in the hoses. Now it just rained for 2 days just a few days ago, so I don't know that these are in dire need of water too much. And it's supposed to be cloudy on Tuesday and Wednesday of this week with a chance of rain, but more in the metro than up here. And then I'm not going to be up here again for a good week and a half, 2 weeks. So if it doesn't rain, I want to make sure that these have a little bit of reserve. So we'll give these a good watering this morning. So it's been a while since I've been here in the morning, and the bird action is out of this world. All kinds of different bird calls. Some woodpeckers banging on the trees. Had that owl last night, and just chirping away. This is fantastic. All right, we are coming up on the magic spot. Let's see if the tree is still in the ground, fully upright. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that, everybody. We have touchdown. There is no tree leaning in the sky. And the good news, it didn't fall on me. It's a little bit wet from the rain last night, so there we go. Look at that split, everybody. Fantastic. Wow. So that came down on the storm. You notice where it fell, everybody? Right on the trail that we were making. So now it'll guide us on our trail. I'm kind of relieved that it's down. I was kind of hoping I could be here when it did fall. But now we have it down. It is a solid tree still for the most part, I think, this upper part. But we have a lot of cleanup to do. My next order of business is the 2 supports to keep the solar arrays up in the air for the summertime. So grabbed a drill bit, put a hole through the 2x4s that will crisscross each other, and I got some leg screws with some butterfly kind of twist on and some washers, and put those into the holes, got them secured and wrapped up tight enough. We have our solar array balanced for the summertime. So the previous folks had some power going in right here, so I got to see if I can get those guys through there into the outside world. Yeah, and here it comes. So the last thing I have to do with the pump today before we leave is I have to put up the RPS power box. I put these 2x4s on yesterday. Incidentally, I found the little missing brackets that go right in there. And I'm gonna put this right here, put some 2x4s, and we're gonna screw that right there. I gotta fish these through some conduit that I got, and we're gonna bury that not below the frost line. This is not gonna be connected in the wintertime, and if it gets cold, it's not gonna matter. I'm not running it right now. So for this year, I'm just gonna go as deep as I can get it so I can get a nice tunnel from there to here. The sun is on the panels in beautiful, beautiful form. And we've gone ahead and we've circled around and curled up all the cables under here, wrapped around here a couple times, and we have it all installed. We have power. The pump is on. Let's go see if it's running. It's coming up on 12:30 on Sunday afternoon. I have to hit the road by 2 o'clock. I just wanted to make sure that the solar array had its holding 2x4s. I want to make sure that the control center was mounted, and I put all the wires in some conduit that buried in the ground. That's all taken care of. And we got through 200 feet of hose, and it's sputtering, it's spurring, and guess what? There we go. That's a good stream of water still. That's fantastic. So it's going in the river. So it's just gonna make a little trickle down the river. Now I've watered everything in there, so that's all done. The only thing I haven't done, I haven't gone up to those newer plantings of the jack pine, so we're gonna have to bring buckets up there. But we'll bring the hose as close as we can get, and then with the four-wheeler, we'll put some buckets on there and get closer. Let's do that real quick. Okay, I have a wide-angle lens on, everybody, but can you hear them? The Canadian honkers are heading back to Canada. Yeah, they're flying due north. What a beautiful morning. The solar array platform is all sound and secure. I have it in the down position right now because if we do get any storms with hail, I'd rather have the hail miss most of that, unless of course it's going this direction, but instead of having it this way and getting crushed, this might help save if we're having any storms. It's looking great. Everything's in place, ready to go, and the pump is working. In the water that came out as I was watering the trees today, a little clearer than yesterday. We'll again put some dirt in here and protect that and cover that, and that's going to be really nice. I have the four-wheeler from my friend. I'm purchasing that from him for a steal of a deal. It is an old one, but it's going to be a workhorse. It's already been a workhorse so far, getting water where it needs to be. I got my new hoses. They're all stretching out in the sun. The trees are in good shape. This is fantastic. An incredible 48 hours almost here at Bonsai Acres, and I really don't want to go home. But I haven't had a shower in 3 days now, and I really should go home and take one. So, success. A few trees passed with some of the dry weather, but things are looking good. Time to hook up the trailer and head on out of Bonsai Acres. Until soon. Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Very excited.